Good morning, all. Good morning, good morning. I'm going to adjust my camera just a little bit and wait for a few more folks to join us. I'm Jennifer Eubank, and we're here each weekday morning from 10 to 10:30 for a little bit of light yoga, a dose of yoga. And I'm here on Fridays from 10 to 10:30. Oh, it's been a tough week. So I'm going to give it about another minute or so. If anyone joins in, please feel free to give a little shout out. And I'd love to say hello and see who's here. Again, it's not necessary. Feel free to get your mats ready. Good morning, Catherine. Good morning. I should sit a little closer when I'm waiting for people to chat in and chime in so I don't have to dash. Me and my nearsightedness. Myopic. So you may want to gather a couple of blocks. I have blocks there for practice this morning. We'll be using perhaps some blocks. We'll be doing some standing flow. I'd like to pick up where we left off in our last session and do some nice mini sun salutations and work our way up to maybe more challenging, well, definitely more challenging, but you have the ability to up the ante and turn the challenge up a little bit even more. So blocks can come in handy if you are not feeling as energetic as you would like, which is how I'm feeling today. So I'm going to go ahead and make my way back to the mat here. And like I said last week, last session, we focused on flow, and we did mostly flow on the floor, and I ran out of time, and I wanted to do some flow standing up. So thought we would start today with some standing flows and then make our way down to a different kind of floor flow, very different from last week, that actually evolves from our standing flow. Let's see who just came in. Good morning, Joan. Hello, Joan. Oh, Joan, my sister Joan. So glad to see you. So we're doing some slow flow today. I've had a very tough week physically, and that had some physical challenges that I wasn't used to, and that affected my energetic levels. And that also affected my emotions. It's that whole mind-body connection. When our body starts to ache and we slow down, and then we slow down emotionally and mentally and intellectually as well. Hence you trip over words and use the wrong words and things like that. So this practice is generated to get the lymph flowing, to get the energy flowing a little bit more and loosen up everything in the body, physically, energetically, emotionally, and we'll see how you feel at the end of this practice. So we'll start in a mountain position, and at some point I'll be turning to the side so you can see a side view. So you decide how you want your mat set up, because we'll be using the long side and we'll be stepping back at some point, so make sure that you've got plenty of room to step back, and make sure that you've got your blocks on hand. And we'll start in a very simple mini sun salutation where we won't be stepping back first. So just come into a nice mountain pose and root your feet evenly and draw that energy up the legs, but loosen your knees. And continue that energy drawing up the legs into your belly, and lift your heart, but relax your shoulders and your hips. Feel your neck lengthen And feel the crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. Feel that up, down energy. Up, down. What goes up must come down. Take a couple more breaths like this and notice how your breath is flowing. Close the mouth and take some nice breaths with the mouth closed. Just notice how your breath is flowing. Is it smooth? Is it choppy? Is it doing anything for your mountain and your stillness? And then when you're ready, let a few exhales out with your mouth. See if they grow. I'm going to do another. And you can do some mouth exhales every now and then throughout this entire practice, or you can keep the mouth closed for the whole practice, or some sort of combination. So as you're ready, we'll start our movement. Go ahead and extend your arms up overhead, and then swan dive and hinge at the hips evenly and come all the way down as far as you can go. And then lift halfway back up and put your hands on your legs, either above the knees or below the knees, you decide. And then lower back down. And then root into the floor with those feet and those strong legs and that strong belly to lift you back up and bring the hands back in front of the heart. So that's a mini sun salutation. So we extend the arms up and we hinge at the hips evenly. Keep the legs strong, but the knees soft as you lower. Ditto as you come up. Ditto as you come back down and come all the way back up. Keep the joints soft, but the muscles strong. Let's add the breath. Inhale as you extend up. Exhale as you swan dive forward. Inhale as you lift halfway. Exhale back down. Inhale all the way up. Come back down. We'll do a few more of these. We've done these before in this class and we added elements to it, but this time we're just going to keep it a pretty simple mini sun salutation. And we'll do a few more of these. And at some point we'll start to step back. So at that point, I'm going to turn to my side so I'll have my room to do that. And you can see what my mini sun salutation looks like from the side as well. And I can get my blocks all ready. I'm going to do one more with some nice mouth exhales. That felt so good, I'm going to do another before I turn. Really nice way to let go of tension. Energetically, physically, emotionally. I'm going to do one from the side. Now I'm going to do a quiet one. I'm going to close the mouth and do just a quiet, more gentle one because that really brought up my energy level. And I'm going to kind of regulate that a little bit. And then I'm going to start thinking about stepping back. So the next one, get ready to step back. So as we inhale, we extend up. And as we exhale, we hinge at the hips, hands on the floor. And bend your knees as much as you need to do that. And then inhale, step a foot back, and then another foot back, and lift up into your downward facing dog. And then use an exhale to land into a plank. And then bring the knees down. And then as you're ready, lower down, chaturanga down into a chaturanga and lift up into your cobra. And by that time, the feet come back down, and then you can curl those toes in the back, and then you can lift up into your downward facing dog again, and then use an inhale to lift one leg and exhale it forward, and then inhale the other leg forward, and then inhale, lift up, and exhale the hands down. And we'll do some more challenge. So keep it slow. You don't have to be doing everything at the same time that I'm doing. Make sure you step the different foot back the second time. And lower into your plank, and then bring the knees down and lower down into your chaturanga and bring those feet down, and use an inhale to lift up into your cobra, curl those toes, and then use another inhale to lift up into your dog, and then use an inhale to lift the other leg up, and exhale it and land it forward. Inhale the other leg up, and then inhale, reach up, and exhale the hands down. And keep going. And I wanted to say, if you get in trouble with coming up, you can always have blocks there for you. I find that sometimes they kind of get in the way with flow, and it's hard for me to coordinate, so I'm going to keep them there if I need them. And I'll rejoin you. So we do that same mini sun salutation, and notice as you lift the body up, it's easier to step that foot back and keep things nice and even and strong and stable. Keep your flow slow. My blocks got in my way. Lowering down, inhaling into my cobra, inhaling up into my dog, and you might want to try a different kind of breath pattern. So it's easier if you lift that leg up first and then bend it and then bring it forward, because that lifts your body up and gives you the space in your torso to lift up. I'm going to do a few without talking, because my energy level is getting a little out of whack here. Keep going. Anytime you want to take a rest, feel free to take a rest. You can rest in a child's pose. You can rest in a dog pose. I'm going to do another to even things out. So let's finish this round. Lower into a plank before, then the knees come down. Before you come down, maybe you don't want to bring those knees down first. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can opt for a more advanced version. Woo. But I'm a little creaky this morning. My hips are not really cooperating. All right, let's do a nice mini sun salutation. Slow it down, finish up that round, take your time catching up, and then do another round of mini sun salutation, but finish off in the forward fold. And let's take a little rest here. And let your head dangle and let the neck get long. And if you start to get dizzy, you can lift up into that halfway position. You can put your hands on the block, or you can put your hands on the legs. You can do that. Now I'm going to stay in this full forward fold position. And I'm going to lengthen my legs, rooting my feet into the floor. I'm lengthening my legs, I'm softening my knees, I'm lifting up my hips, I'm lifting my sits bones, better description of that, tailbone is reaching up and away from the neck. Lengthening my spine. I'm dropping that head to really dangle the neck, dangle the head, and keep those neck muscles gentle. And then let's make our way up to that halfway position, and let's spin a few breaths in the halfway position. So if you put your hands on your knees, it might kind of truncate your body. It might be better if you put your hands below your knees, and then you can use the feet and the hands on your legs for leverage, and you can work on finding a little more space in your spine. So notice if your half forward fold feels like that. Does it feel curved? Can you strengthen and lengthen? Strengthen the muscles, lengthen the bones, and lengthen the muscles as well, because as the bones lengthen, the muscles have to accommodate that, because that's the job, the number one job of the muscles is to move those bones. So I'm staying here for a few breaths, and if you've watched, maybe you're seeing that my spine is getting longer and my torso is getting a little bit more spacious. I'm getting wider in the hips, wider in the collarbones and the shoulders, and everything in between. My rib cages are feeling wider. My rib cage, all of that is feeling wider. And I just caught myself looking up, so I'm going to bring my face in a little bit more parallel position. And then let's inhale back up. Exhale the hands in front of your heart. And then take another exhale to bring the hands back down by the sides. And let's just stay in our mountain for a couple of breaths. So we were here at the very beginning. Rebuild your mountain. Feet are rooted, legs are strong, but knees are soft. Draw the belly in and lift your heart. Feel the neck lengthen. Soften your shoulders and your hips. Soften your face and look straight ahead. And notice as you look at the horizon line, that helps you keep your heart lifted. And that helps you keep your posture in check. In yoga, that's called drishti, gaze. The gaze really affects the direction of your movement. So if you look down, you might start to do this. And we tend to look down a lot when we do our sun salutations because we're scared. But if we keep our body long and lifted and wide, those sun salutations actually become a little bit easier. Because you've got that space that you need. So let's go ahead and do a couple more slow sun salutations to make our way back into a different kind of flow, kind of a dog, table, child's flow. And this one, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of making them up as I go. And that's the beauty of flow. I'm just going to listen to what my body wants right now, and I'm going to say it out loud. And you can follow along and you can see what the experience is for you. So we come up into this mountain pose at the top of our mat. Use an inhale to extend and an exhale to swan dive down. Take your time, hands on the floor, and then bend your knees as much as you need to. Step one foot back, inhale, and step the other foot back. Use an inhale to lift up into your dog. Those sun salutations can really help you with the smaller incremental movements, little mini sequences that we do. So that's why they're so important. Hang out in your dog for a few breaths. Nice long inhales, nice long exhales. Find that balance between right and left, between front and back, and bottom and top, and maybe lift the heels up as the base of the foot stays on the floor, of course. You can bring the heels up and down and put some movement into the dog here. And if you bend one knee and the other, if you were a a dog walker, it's really important that you keep the hips even, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm walking my dog here, bending one knee and then straightening the other. If you tend to bring your hips back and forth, that can be really bad. You want to keep things even as you walk your dog. And let's all take a rest if you haven't already. Bring the knees down evenly and slowly, and press into the mat with the hands to draw your body to the back of the mat. The hips come down, and if you can't come all the way down, stay up in this puppy position. And then when you're ready, come on back up into table. And let's just start a little light flow with a table dog child's flow. So like I said, I'm gonna kind of make it up as I go. All right, so we're in our dog position, and as you're ready, come into a cow, arch the hips towards the ceiling, and then do the opposite. Come into your cat, arch the spine towards the ceiling, and then come back to table, and then curve to one side, looking over the shoulder at the hip, and then come back to center, and then do the same thing on the other side. Curve to the other side, and then come back to center, and then press into the floor and come back into a puppy. And as you come back into a puppy, bring the hands forward a little bit, and then come back up and go right up into a downward facing dog. And hold that for a couple of breaths. And then use an inhale to find your way into a plank. We've been here before, but we're going to keep it nice and light. And then we'll bring those knees down. And then let's come back into a puppy, which head and hips are in the air. Or you can turn that into a child's and come all the way down. It's up to you. And then when you're ready, use an inhale to lift back up. And notice that your hands are pretty far up, so you might want to bring them back down a little bit, and then we'll do it again. So come into your cow, and then your cat, and then your table, and then we'll do a crescent on each side, curving the spine from side to side. And then we come back to center, and then bring the hands forward a little bit, and then come back, and then come forward. And then let's turn that kneeling plank into a regular plank, and then lift up into your dog, and then come back into your plank, and then bring your knees down, and then rest back into your puppy or child's. And then as you're ready, we'll do a couple more times. Use an inhale to lift up. Find your table position with your hands. Use an inhale to go into your cow, and an exhale to go into your cat, and an inhale to come back to your table, and exhale, kind of reinforce that table. And then when you're ready, use an inhale to crescent moon, exhale back to center, and then do the same thing on the other side. And then as you come back to table, bring the hands forward, and then do 2 rocking horses. Inhale as you come forward, exhale as you settle back into that puppy or child's pose. And next time you come forward into that kneeling plank, use an inhale to turn it into a regular plank, and then use an inhale to come up into your dog. And then as you're ready, use an inhale to come into your plank. And as you're ready, use an exhale to bring those knees down. And use an inhale to start your rocking horse, but exhale, land in that child's pose. And take 3 breaths in your child's pose. And maybe your child is more like a puppy, but maybe your puppy is starting to evolve. Maybe you're getting more childlike. Notice, see if this flow is changing things for you. And take a few more breaths in your child's pose. And then when you're ready, use an inhale to lift back up and bring those hands back under your shoulders. Under your shoulders. And then we'll do one more round. We've got enough time for one more round. So when you're ready, inhale into your cow, exhale into your cat, and then come back to your table with an inhale and use the exhale to reinforce that. And then when you're ready, use an inhale to go into your crescent, exhale back to center. Same thing on the other side. And as you come back, bring your hands forward and then start your rocking horses. Inhaling as you come forward, exhaling as you come back. Let's do 5 rocking horses this time. And inhale forward, exhale back. And next time you inhale forward, hang out here. And then as you're ready, lift those legs up into a plank. Maybe you did that with an inhale. And use an inhale to come up into your dog. Maybe use an exhale to come up into your dog. Doesn't matter as long as you coordinate the breath with the movement. And then use an inhale to come back into your plank or an exhale. And then bring those knees down evenly and quietly with control. Don't just plop them down. And then make your way back. Kind of rocking horsing your way back into your puppy, head and hips in the air. Maybe wag your tail from side to side. And then come back to your puppy and hang out here for a few breaths. And then turn your puppy into a child's pose. Press into the floor with the knees. And see how that helps bring you down and your hands start to slide back as your bum comes down. And take your time coming down and see if you can bring your head all the way down to the floor. And if you can't, stack your hands either in fists or flat and build the floor up so your head doesn't have to go down as far. And take 5 breaths in your child's pose, whichever child's pose feels right for you. My knees are slightly apart and my feet are together in the back, because that makes a little tripod for me. And that gives me a nice foundation. And as I celebrate that foundation and that stability, then I can really do some nice resting here. And I pay attention to the flow of my breath in a still position. So before we were flowing our breath through movement and sequencing, what's the breath doing for you now in your child's pose? And then when you're ready, press into all those foundation points, your elbows, or any foundation points that, maybe your elbows aren't in position to do that, and your knees and your feet, whatever foundation points are there for you, and use an inhale to slightly come back up. And take your time slowly but surely coming back up. Use your breath, use your know-how, your step-by-step methodology. Try not to rush coming back up. If you slow down your movements, notice how that slows down the breath, and that can slow down the thoughts and settle you down. And you can find that flow actually stills you. Maybe that was your experience today, maybe not. Maybe it has been, and maybe it's to come. So, with that being said, let's build a nice seated position. Fix your clothes. Sit on your sit bones, maybe wriggle from sit bone to sit bone and find them level, and draw the belly in and lift your heart and relax your shoulders and your knees. So those same kind of cues that we use for our mountain, use those to build your seated position, including taking your gaze to that horizon line. And as you take your gaze, your drishti, to the horizon line, does that help keep your body strong and lifted, yet safe and open and ready for the day? With openness, love, and cheer. And as you're ready, bring your hands to heart center and keep that body strong and that heart lifted as you bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so very much for joining me this morning. Again, I'm Jennifer Eubank. I'm here every Friday from 10 to 10:30. And now that I'm saying that, I should mention that this December, this will be my, I won't be doing the Friday spot anymore next year because I have another commitment. So I'm going to step aside for another colleague to take this spot on Fridays. But I'll be here for the rest of December, and I hope you join me. And you can always check us out in the Zoom rooms, and I may pop in from time to time as well. So, and please check out my website, jennifereubank.com. sunandmoonyogastudio.com. That's where you can find all of our Zoom classes, and we're starting our semester in January. So please check us out, and we'll be doing tune-ins throughout the December month. So please check us out. We've got lots to offer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm saying goodbye like a herd of turtles. It takes me forever to say goodbye, especially when I have to come all the way over there. Thank you all. Please be safe, and please wear a mask. Please do the right thing and wear a mask. Please, please, please. It doesn't take that much. Goodbye.